Episode 18, take 2 on it, guys.
Take 2.
We're doing it. We're doing it to him.
Yeah, we had a bit of an audio problem in the initial recording, so we're just starting again.
That.
So
once again, it's my fault. It's always my fault.
They don't know that.
Oh, now they do. Ah, right. Okay, so welcome to Into the 99, where we have 99 cards because man number 1. I am one of your hosts, Sherman.
I'm Hope.
I'm Daniel.
And I'm Brian.
And today we're going to be talking about Theros spoilers, or we're going to try to cover as many as we can in whatever time period we have.
Yeah, we're just going to
kind
kind of get to
the
what
important
we can
ones.
get to, yeah.
Or the ones that we find really, really interesting. We're not going to cover every single
All right,
card.
let's
That's
talk.
just crazy.
Let's talk about all the cats.
There are a lot of cats, I'll admit that.
Yeah, those are the important ones in my mind.
The set overall just looks pretty awesome, and
Yeah.
it seems now to be fully spoiled. Everyone probably has plans for what they're doing with it or what they're upgrading. We're just going to go over kind of what we think is really interesting in the set, what we think we need for decks, and probably a quick discussion into why they would print this Nyxborn.
Oh, yeah!
I am such like an enchantment person. I'm like, what can I call myself on here?
The word is deviant.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Deviant.
that's a good one.
Yes.
That's a
Deviant.
good one.
That's not what I would call
That-
you off.
I
on.
Where's
am-
that thesaurus? Let's see. What can I use as another word here?
Yeah. I am so excited. So excited for these cards.
Yeah.
A lot of them just overall seem great for upgrades. For a while I've been wanting to upgrade to Vasa, but how do you try upgrade an enchantment deck with the enchantment heavy set coming out, right? You gotta
Yeah.
wait.
You make a second.
A second to
Second to Vasa deck with Blackjack.
To Vasa.
Well,
fun.
that's what I've been considering, though. I have my Selvala enchantment deck. Do I even want to, like, it's good. Do I want to
Just make a
touch it?
second one.
No, but yeah. Do I want to tear that apart and add in these cards, or should I just go and make a second one?
I say make a second
I make
one.
a second.
I say live
There
your
is
life.
so many. Yeah, go a different route with the
Yeah.
enchantments, yeah.
I have 2 decks for my Yisan deck, right? Because I have my Song Tribal and have my more competitive deck for Yisan, right? So, whenever I play, it's like, okay, like, what do I want to play? What's the power level of everyone's decks? If it's like, pre-cons and everything, fine. Here comes Song Tribal. But if everyone's like, there's like 8s and close to 9s and everything, like, okay, here's my competitive one. Let's go nuts.
I'm 2 Tulane decks deep, and they're fun.
You are. Oh,
And you
man.
call me a deviant?
There's the third one I want to
It's
make
fun.
already.
Oh, that's right. You were saying you wanted to.
Sherman's that's not so fun.
Yeah, the Tulane.
Mine's awesome.
The first Tulane deck that he made was a lot of fun. I play it.
Just ETB nonsense. The second one is just Tulane Persistent Petitioners.
Yeah, that's not fun.
No, that
But
can
the
be fun.
ETB one is fun.
But that's better than mine, because mine, like, in the end, I'm just, like, trying to, like, bring out Emrakul and take over everyone's turns, right?
I mean, I couldn't imagine doing that, so.
I could, because I'm a deviant. Okay, anyways,
That's
let's
the word
go.
for today.
Yeah.
Deviant.
The word of the day is deviant. Can you spell it? Because I cannot.
And the number of the day is 7.
It's South Park. We're doing the count. 80. 85 cards is what I immediately need from this set.
Okay.
We're gonna start at the mythic rare level here for the Theros
Of
Beyond
course.
Death block, because I think, or should we start?
No,
we'll
let's
start
go
this
with
way, yeah.
mythics and then rares and then uncommons and commons, whatever,
Then we get to talk about land.
Yes,
Ooh,
actually,
Betsy,
we should
I
talk about
actually
that.
do want to talk about land.
Well, lands are going to need the rare slots and stuff like that, too. So
No, I'm talking about the basic lands.
Oh, yes, from the are those from the collector series? Those special
No,
ones?
those are in, they're like the full art lands from, like,
Oh, the Pokemon.
What?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Pokemon lands.
The energies.
The energy.
But yes, anyways.
Anyway.
Into the cards.
Squirrel.
We have a ton of new Planeswalkers and God enchantment cards.
Chill.
Does anyone, like, who here cares about the Planeswalkers?
No.
Everyone.
Like I say, I hate planeswalkers.
Well, no, but isn't one of the Planeswalkers
The new one.
help?
Calyx.
Yeah.
Alex, because that helps you, right?
Yeah,
You're all about enchantments.
he could be a
Well,
groovy
let's,
dude, but
let's not skip ahead, guys. Let's do Ashiok first. Let's talk
I
about
care
it.
about
All right. I'll read out Ashiok. Ashiok Nightmare Muse, okay? 3 blue and a black, loyalty 5, okay, Planeswalker, because we're talking about Planeswalkers right now. +1 loyalty. Create a 2/3 blue and black nightmare creature token with, whenever this creature attacks or blocks, each opponent exiles the top 2 cards of their library, okay? So, like, you don't even have to do damage, you just attacks or blocks. It's, silly. A -3 is return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. When that player exiles a card, then that player exiles a card from their hand.
Very, very good removal.
Hilarious.
And then the -7, the ultimate, you may cast up to 3 face-up cards your opponents own from exile without paying their mana cost, which is really, really good.
Very dope. Very neat. Love it.
I like how they designed Ashiok compared to the Planeswalkers of the past, okay? Because you're not getting an emblem, you're forcing people to use the negative loyalty, okay, to exile cards, and then pump Ashiok back up to do the -7.
Well, that I think is the best gauge of a Planewalker's usefulness, is their minus ability. Like we've said many times, you don't always get to alt them, so you want to make sure that you at least have 2 abilities on them that is worth it. This is creating something to protect itself a little bit. It has an additional effect that's going to mill people and exile anyone who's tutoring, anything like that. Has to be kind of careful. And then the bounce non-land permanent is very, very strong. Another Planeswalker's in range of an alt. Somebody has a humility on the board for some reason. Any of those things. Like there's
No name drops here?
No name drops yet.
there's just a lot of really, really good utility built into the minus of this. Its plus is always good, but you have a really strong answer built into it on the board. And it has beautiful artwork in its collector's edition.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Like
the other Ashiok, though, is like my number one. Like, love it. I think it would be so dope. I think that card is going to be...
It's so beautiful.
It's gonna be. Beautiful. It's just something that I wish that I could like run in more decks, but I don't run.
Which Ashiok? The
Sculptor of Fears.
Oh, the deck Ashiok.
Yeah. Well, it's great.
Oh, the Planeswalker one, or the deck.
Yeah.
So let's read it out real fast. So it's a 4 blue and a black.
It's expensive.
4 loyalty when it comes in. +2, draw a card. Each player puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard. Really,
really good in Muldrotha, a draw engine that's also gonna self-mill you.
Yeah.
That's for a Muldrotha deck, you're drawing 3 for a +2, and that's busted.
Yeah.
Or like can Carador use it?
No, Carador's not blue. Actually, looking at this is just absurdly strong in Muldrotha.
Yeah.
It's -5. Put target creature from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control.
I know.
Which is really good. But like you have
From
to do the plus
a
first
graveyard
and then
also.
But that's what I mean. It's +2 is still, it puts
really
a
good
threat on the board that people have to deal with, and it self-mills you. So really, it's in a Muldrotha deck, its +2 is draw 3.
Yeah.
Well, sounds like I need to make a Muldrotha reanimator deck.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
No.
And it's -11. Gain control of all creatures target opponent controls.
Yeah. Granted,
Hilarious.
it's -11, so it's going to be a while, right? But still, like for like a box themed, you buy it off the bat. It's not bad.
I think
It's a pretty good
cool.
inclusion, and it's something that can also really, really easily slot into a deck all of us see all the time, and that's an Atraxa. And proliferating to 11 is not hard.
No.
Boo.
Before we go on to the other Planeswalkers, let's just go kind of where we got the alphabetical order. We'll talk about the new
Theros. Okay.
Because he's pretty exciting.
Theros Shrouded Veil. The 4 white-black. Okay, legendary enchantment creature god. 4/7, which is really crazy. Indestructible, like usual, like
Of
most
course,
cards.
he's a god.
As long as your devotion to white and black is less than 7, Theros is not a creature. At the beginning of your end step, put a coin counter on another target creature. Okay, so some creature gets a coin. All right.
I'll always take some money.
You're paying them off. Okay, because whenever a creature with a coin counter on it dies or is put into exile, return that card to the battlefield under your control.
Ooh.
That is strong.
Or put into exile.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, it is a very, very good card, especially for the destroy colors that it's in that white and black.
Or Tesa?
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. In any of the decks that are running the Grave Packs, any of that, very, very hard removal.
Yeah,
making
sacrifice,
people
bring back.
sack things. So yeah, you can sack your Emrakul. I'll bring your Emrakul back.
You get double, but then like the Tesa deck, you get the double death trigger, so you bring it back, and then you just kill it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Silly.
Isn't that ridiculous?
But it's a 6-cost commander, and it is
Scary.
like it is slow.
It's a box top. It's a buy a box.
Yeah.
Is it the
I got
box?
one then.
All right.
But it is slow because it is at the beginning of your end step, all right? So, it's a strong ability, but once again, people can react to it because they have time up to the end step,
Yeah,
right?
it's delayed.
So, I like this card a lot because it balances out the power of it. You know, it doesn't feel super overpowered. It feels just right.
Well, a 4/7 is also a pretty solid number for a 6-cost indestructible.
Yeah, but it's also not a creature until you get Devotion of 7.
Which is true.
So, and it's...
But I feel like Devotion of 7 is not hard when you're running white and black, especially white, because there's so many white cards that are too white.
Yeah, and if you're playing a lot of enchantments and anything whatever.
I feel like it's not going to take long, especially if you're at a position to be playing a 6-drop.
We have a new Planeswalker that we haven't seen before.
Yay.
Calyx, Destiny's Hand, for 2 green and white.
That to me sounds so dramatic. Destiny's Hand.
Destiny's Hand.
It is a pretty dramatic Planeswalker. Also has a really, really cool alternate art.
Oh, yeah. His and then Elsa's and Ashiok. So, like, all
so
three
beautiful.
of them, like, they look so nice.
He is a very, very solid one for the enchantment colors. He's one Brian might even like.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I did share it within our Discord
Yeah.
chat room.
Oh, yeah. You're just like, oh, I'm drooling and everything and going nuts for it.
But like, the thing is that with Planeswalkers, well, he does cost 4, which is amazing. 2 colorless and a green and a white.
Yeah.
4 starts at 4 loyalty.
Yeah. And then the +1 is look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an enchantment card from among them and put that card into your hand. So he's able to essentially look at the top 4 cards. So if you're running enchantment creatures, just basic enchantments, you can fetch 1.
Yep.
And then put the rest in the bottom of your library in a random order. -3 is exile target creature or enchantment you don't control until target enchantment you control leaves the battlefield. So you can start exiling
Yeah, he has
Oblivion Ring.
Yeah, exactly. He has
Isn't
the
that
ability
nasty?
to turn one of your enchantments into an Oblivion Ring.
Well, let's just put something indestructible.
And
Yeah.
-7, return all enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield.
So he's like that other
Enchantment?
Planeswalker.
Which
Estrid.
Planeswalker?
Yeah, he is
yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
Estrid.
But in colors I like better.
Yeah.
But the thing is that in my enchantment deck, I run a Ground Seal because...
What is that?
Ground Seal is a green and a colorless, and when it comes into play, you get to draw a card, and cards in graveyards cannot be the target of spells or abilities. So,
But that won't stop him from bringing them back. He returns all not
Yeah, because
target.
you're not targeting.
Oh, okay. So had this happen yesterday.
Yep.
That's touche.
Yeah. He's a solid
How
one.
interesting.
You got to get a rest in peace. Knock that
Indubitably.
all out.
Crip.
Okay, Ground Seal and rest in peace.
Yeah.
I have an extra rest in peace for you. It's all good.
We have Elspeth, the
Done
face
deal.
of this set.
Oh, Sun's Nemesis. 2 white.
Love her.
Should have stayed dead.
Comes in for... Oh, you're off the podcast.
I really, really like the just the difference in their artworks as well of the collector's edition one versus the other one with the black spear and then the white marble spear. Like it's just ooh.
It's so
Very
nice.
cool. I like the theming of this Planeswalker because she doesn't have any plus abilities.
Yeah,
she
it's true.
only goes down.
She only
She
goes
only
down,
goes
which
down.
is really interesting.
She only goes down, but she has an escape.
Yep.
Yeah.
She has the escape ability,
Well,
which
the-
again
the
makes
escape
sense because
mechanic-
she's escaping the
Let's
underworld.
read it out for everybody that doesn't know it.
Okay, okay.
Before we even do that, though, the escape mechanic is something that's new to this set. I personally don't think is very good for Commander,
Nope.
but can be situationally good.
Correct.
It's a kind of strange way because you are exiling a lot, and a lot of Commander does use the graveyard as an additional part of your deck.
But
Another resource.
The way I see it is for people that normally don't use their graveyard as recursion, escape is a great mechanic because
Totally.
it makes them actually use the graveyard as a resource now. as
Well, and you
opposed to
can
not
recur
before,
them. Yeah, that is true.
Right? So it's like, like people that are used to reanimations, like, or like Madrotha, Carador,
Yeah. So to
Mirror.
me, like the idea of exiling cards from my graveyard is like sacrilege. So
Yeah. But like, once again, it's
Blasphemy?
I think escape is a great mechanic because it is
It's
going to
cool.
get people used to using the graveyard
I also-
as a resource.
You know what? I hadn't even considered that because I do use the graveyard as
Yeah.
a resource in so many
but
decks.
not everybody does.
But not-
So so I was like, this is not good because I don't want to get rid of my graveyard.
There's 2 resources that a lot of people don't use often in
Life.
EDH. Life and graveyard. Okay? Because a lot of people are like, you have to design your deck around those. And technically not. Okay? There's many ways to use both of those resources without actually, dedicating your deck around them. But
Yep.
that's besides the point. Let's
Anyways.
keep going here.
Elspeth, she's 2 and 2 white. She starts at 5 loyalty, and her -1 is up to 2 target creatures you control get +2/+1 until the end of turn. Her -2 is create 2 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens, and her -3 is gain 5 life. And then her escape cost is 4 and 2 white.
So escape cost 4, 2 white. So,
And exiling 4 cards from your graveyard.
Yeah. Okay, so you have to remember. So with escape, you have to exile 4 other cards from the graveyard, and then after that, you can cast this card from the graveyard for the escape cost. So you would exile 4, and then you pay 6 to bring Elspeth back.
Yeah, which also in white is like very easy to like bang out.
Yeah. So like once again, like I think escape is a great mechanic. It's really, really interesting, and like I
think it's a fine mechanic.
I think it's great because like once again, like it's gonna get people that are playing EDH thinking more about using their graveyards,
Which is a good thing.
yeah, and it's not because before it's like either green you're going to recur things, and black you're going to recur things, blue and red you normally have flashback, white you basically have like some reanimate spells, like resurrection and all that stuff, and artifacts you have stuff, but this broadens the horizon for the color pie.
Well, and
Yeah.
that actually kind of goes into something I wanted to touch on later, but I'll just quickly mention it now. This is a really good set to start playing Commander, and there is a lot of legendary Commander options. Yeah. There's lots of really, really interesting things, and there's a lot of things. You could pretty much make a Commander deck just out of this set alone.
It's a really strong set.
But you can make a lot of budget decks with these things that are available.
Yeah.
You can buy and crack packs looking for these. Like, this is a really, really good set to
Very
get
like
into the format.
approachable
I
set.
have to say that this set, I have seen so many more group slug commanders
Oh, yeah.
that all of you guys are going to become best of friends with.
We're gonna skip the next Elspeth. She's meh.
Yeah.
Meh.
She's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay,
Well, she's like for the deck.
but Erebos.
Yeah. Oh, and let's talk about the fact that a lot of these legendary god ones, they have like a constellation version of them.
From the collector's edition.
Oh, beautiful.
So nice, so
incredible.
sweet. Okay, but Erebos Bleak-Hearted for 3 and a black. A legendary enchantment creature god, like usual. 5/6, indestructible. D. Okay, as long as your devotion to black is less than 5, Erebos isn't a creature.
For blanket, we're just gonna say what the devotion and the color is.
Yeah, okay,
Instead-
sounds good. Okay, so whenever another creature you control dies, you may pay 2 life. If you do, draw a card. Fantastic. I love that off the bat. And you can pay 1 in a black and sacrifice another creature. Target creature gets -2/-1 until end of turn. That, I'm like,
It's still an awesome sack mechanic.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's literally me. I'm sitting here like it's just a free sack. It's a 2-cost sack outlet. Like, come
yeah.
And then you can
on.
I just
also
find it...
Kill something else.
A 2-cost sack outlet that is also functioning as a draw engine.
And
your-
it puts -1s.
yeah.
I
you're putting them on
find it
other
funny
people's
with
creatures.
the -2/-1, how it's just like them remembering the card weakness from like third, fourth edition, right? Because that was like a block enchantment that gave a target creature -2/-1. I'm just like, that's so awesome.
I'm just saying this is a 2-mana sack kill a birds of paradise.
Yeah, I'm taking it.
Bolt
Yeah.
that birds.
Bolt the birds.
Bolt the bird.
Well, I'm looking at this too. Like, it's an awesome defense card.
Yeah.
Someone swings at you, I'm not swinging at you. And you've seen with black and white, like I'm creating these imp tokens and
Yeah.
all this other stuff. I'm sacking my tokens. I'm stopping all of your creatures from dealing damage to me.
Yep.
I think
Have
that's
a great day, and I'm going to draw 20 cards.
Yeah.
Well, and
that's the
especially
strong thing about
in
it.
black, there's so many things that trigger off of cards dying again. We have Grave Pact. We have any of those nonsense cards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, and like Erebos, I think it's pretty strong because the fact that it says whenever another creature, it doesn't say like non-token creature.
Yeah.
It just says
Or a creature
any
you control.
basically.
It's just another creature.
Another creature you control dies. So like, okay, it could be a token, it could be a non-token. It makes no difference as long as it's a creature and it goes to the graveyard. You're good to go.
I know. It's awesome. I love it. This is like, that's very much like my style of Magic is this Erebos.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Erebos I like.
Yeah, very solid. Also a 5/6 and indestructible for 4. Very good.
The one deck that I can see that's going really well in right now is our Spore guy.
Oh,
Yep.
Slimefoot.
Slimefoot. Yeah, there we go.
Slimefoot,
Ah,
very good. But
ew.
also in the
Slimefoot.
Tesa, because remember, that is a creature you control dies trigger, so doubling up on that. You
Ooh,
can,
yeah.
Well, even like, I know that I always need another sack outlet in my Marin deck, so it's going in my Marin deck. Because even yesterday I was
You
like,
can
I sure
never
wish I
have
could
enough-
kill things. You
Yep.
can never have enough sack outlets.
Yep.
So,
The deck's about things dying. I need to have things dying.
Everything to die. And the next god creature, next awesome god, is the one that I hate the most.
He's a bad boy.
He's a bad boy.
He's
a
it's Heliod Sun Crowned, which has a lot of players talking. Yeah, I understand. You can walk him, but get over it. Yeah.
Well,
Anyways,
Is that another name drop?
no, that's just everyone, especially a lot of the competitive community right now is like trying to brew like how do we get Heliod to combo with this walking ballista, and how do we break this card because it puts counters on things, and everyone always wants to put counters on everything.
Sherman.
See,
me.
I'm the bad boy. If I were to play Heliod for a commander deck, okay, I would play with a bunch of artifact creatures with modular. Okay,
Yep.
you just put a bunch of -1,
Heck is
-1.
modular.
Puts counters on. Yeah.
Yeah, and when that creature dies, you move those counters to something else.
Love that.
Yeah. So you just do that. It's like, hey, you know, they never go away. Or I would play with, I might play with something with persist. You know?
Yeah.
So it goes away, comes back, is -1 counter. Okay, I'll just give it a +1/+1 and eliminate it, and then it can persist again.
I would honestly
Not
just,
like it.
to me, this is going to get slotted into the Linden deck. Because Linden's
Yeah.
whenever a white creature attacks, I gain a life. So all of that it essentially turns into whenever a creature attacks, put a 1/1 counter on it.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's what I'm kind of excited for and everything. But
Yeah.
like I said, a lot of people want to break this card. They want to see what it is.
I'm not happy with
that,
this card.
That is the ability 5/5 indestructible at 3. You need a devotion of 5 to white.
Yeah.
Whenever you gain a life, put a 1/1 counter on target enchantment or creature you control. And then for 2, you can give your creatures lifelink, which I think is a great ability.
Yeah. Like, it's a great ability. It's a strong card. It's for 2 and a white. And that's the problem I have. Is like, I feel that they should have made it a 4 cost instead of a 3 cost.
Yeah,
Because it feels overpowered at a 3 cost.
Yeah.
This is
Its
why
cost
standard
is
can't
a
have
little
nice
low.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if it was a 4 cost,
We get them all.
I would be way, way happier. But because this is 3 cost, that's why you have so many people talking about trying to break certain formats and
Yeah.
everything. And I don't care for it when it's that low. Like I'm not. I love powerful cards. Don't get me wrong. They're always fun. But I like to have a nice balance. I don't want to have power creep in decks or like sets that get released. Because when you have too much of a power creep, we
see
you
things
do
that
a
have to get
huge
banned.
reset.
There has to be everyone has to try answer a new problem, and
Yeah. So
When you say creep,
power creep.
let's change that to a leap.
yeah.
Yeah. Fair. This set is really strong.
We were talking with the owner of the store we play at, and it does really seem like they are starting to up the power level because they have just realized that it's commander players who want these. It doesn't, at least to me, it doesn't seem like these cards are being designed around a standard balance. It's being designed around what will the commander players want.
Yeah.
But look at what they're doing for 2020 in general. Like Wizards is just
Yeah,
this is just the year of Commander.
Yeah, if you look at the
Yes.
release schedule, they have realized that
they're
like, the
they're
command-
they're just recognizing.
the
Yeah.
commander players, all of you listening, hooray, are the ones who are out. You're out spending money, you're upgrading things, you're buying singles, boxes. I think everyone here is buying a box. Like there's, there's just a lot of cards. I don't think there's any commander player I know who hasn't said that they're excited about these.
Yeah, and like you know what, I really appreciate Wizards like trying to push for Commander because they know it's the fastest growing format.
It's the best format. Let's be honest.
But at the same time, like I want them to like,
things still have to be reasonable.
yeah,
right?
they still have to be reasonable. They still have to support the other formats as well. They have to support Standard, Modern, Pioneer, and all that stuff. Because I like seeing like different players and different.
It's good to see
aspects and
people get
everything.
out. But what I am liking the most specifically is, although I do think a lot of these cards are very strong and very powerful, this is making the game much more accessible. A lot of these cards are strong. You could put a pretty high level deck with these commanders together.
Yeah.
But you don't have to go into, let's face it, old cards are expensive.
Yep.
Yes.
You know what I mean? If you're looking, I won't spoil that card. I'm sure everyone's seen it and stuff, but there's one that doubles up 2 expensive cards effects. Like it is
We'll talk about it in a minute.
Yeah, but there's just the ability to pull cards that are valuable to longtime commander players is very important. The fact that new players can also get these powerful cards, get into the game for a reasonable price, and actually have a reason to crack packs again is the exciting thing. Because if everything's on a standard block, then people just buy the singles.
Yeah.
I'm gonna crack packs for this for sure. I'll probably
box is
every
Christmas.
Yeah.
A box is Christmas.
It is. It's the best.
Yeah, but I'm probably, whenever I go in, this is one of the first sets in a long time that I will be willing to just random crack
Just
packs
like
from.
grab a pack.
Do you know what? The first Theros, I did not care for it whatsoever. But this,
All you play is enchantments. What are you talking about?
leave me alone. Back when I was playing when Theros came out, I could not really care about it. But now, in this set, like seeing this set come out, these cards are
Unreal.
Oh, I know. I'm just so excited.
Yeah.
The next card on our list actually has the opposite problem of Heliod. I thought this was too high of a mana cost for what it does. I think that this is in my personal opinion, worst mythic rare I have seen in a long time.
I think this card's hilarious.
You gotta equal it out with
At
good and bad.
7?
Well, that's just it.
Just make some trash.
I just like the fact that it's a saga. I love saga.
I like sagas too, dog.
If this had come out at 5 mana, would have been excited. 6 mana would have been like, it's a little expensive. 7 mana, in my opinion, unplayable.
Okay, so we're talking about Kiora. That's
the sea
god. So it is a saga. It is a 5 blue. Okay, 7 mana cost. And that's what we're all talking about.
That's big.
It's big. So it
That's
has
Tyrone deck big.
It is. It totally is. So it has 3 parts, okay? So the first time you put a counter on it, you create a 8/8 blue Kraken creature token with hexproof. What are you guys doing?
I just
Tentacle movements.
PG, people, PG!
You can't. We're not. There's no video of this.
the way that I see it is
Not yet.
The way that I see it with all the sagas as well is it going to be good if you only get the first one off? Because it can be destroyed before the next turn.
Yeah,
this is
fine.
7 mana for an 8/8 and meh.
Are you just not the octopus boy?
Yeah. Minus, it's next saga, tap all non-land permanents, target opponent controls, they skip and untap.
That's not bad.
It's okay. And then, in fairness, the last one's good, but you gain control of target permanent and opponent control. So you're 7 mana in and 3 turns to, like...
Yeah, so it's a really...
Bolus clutches something.
It's a really slow card, for sure. You're definitely not going to see this in standard play or any other... Anything
or commander play.
Challenge accepted.
I think you will see this in commander. Like, I would play this in commander. Because it's me, I would probably put this in my draw.
You'll put it in a deck,
I
sure.
can see you trying to play this at pre-release.
I would.
You like it.
I would. I'm the kind of person that during the pre-release, I make 2 separate decks and I switch it up. I'm like, let's gamble and spin it around and see what happens.
Have you played a pre-release with me?
I'm the kind of person that
I generally
makes the
take my
jankest deck.
entire stack and just 5 color lands and shuffle.
Oh.
And then let's play.
I always try to make 2 separate decks during the pre-release. I had someone call a judge because they thought that was...
He switched decks in between games.
Yeah. And
is that allowed?
It is allowed because you can use any...
I guess.
Because you can edit your deck the whole time.
Yeah. So, and I just made 2 separate decks, and one person tried calling me out on it and called a judge, and judge is like, no, it's legal. It's all the parts he has.
It is such nonsense when
It is
the
nonsense.
degenerate commander group rolls into to the draft and sealed events, and everyone is there to play seriously. And I'm like, I cast this, and they're like, why?
Because it's just
Why are you
fun.
drafting this? All the time, I'll sit there. A lot of times, too, I won't play my rares because I'm just I'm just there to get the cards. I just want packs early.
Yeah.
So I'll just leave my rares sitting out, but I'll leave them visible on the table, and they'll be like, are you not playing within your rares? I'm like, that's fine.
No, that's not what this is about. I also get a lot of tips when I'm playing those events, and I'm just like, I'm a commander player, man.
I hear 2 people like,
cool.
do you want me to look through that deck and help you? They act like someone's blind dog.
That's exactly it.
Blind dog with a broken leg assembled this deck.
They're just like, well, the best ratios, you probably don't want to go higher than 40 cards. I'm like, I'm gonna be real. I'm like, I play commander. I'm like, 60 cards is not.
I have my tokens in here too. Just leave it be.
I'm like, it's fine.
I have 100 cards here. 60 of them are lands. So I always get manipulated. I don't understand.
I'm like, I want to lose. It's fine.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's
I
just
just
it.
want to see how many lands I can get out.
I think it is funny when those groups just get mixed because
because we should never interact with one another.
Why do you have that one legendary up on the corner? Oh, we're not playing commander.
Oh, okay.
It's so funny. Everyone all the time they're like, "Oh, how did you pull and stuff?" I'm really going deep into the Demure tribe, and I'm like, "Oh, cool.
They're like, I'm playing 4 or 5 color. I remember at the War of the Spark event, my entire goal was to win with the Nicol Bolas and the Elder spell because I pulled both, and I'm like, if I don't win with Nicol Bolas, Well, I just wanted...
Nicopolis. You're going to play with Nicopolis.
Yeah, like I wanted that sweet, sweet lore win. And unfortunately, it didn't happen. I was so close. I was one turn away from doing it, though.
Really?
I was just like, I needed one more black mana to be able to play the Elder Spell. I was so close. But I'm like, that's what I want. I want this kind of degenerate garbage.
Like I said, I don't see this one being very good at its super high mana cost.
Yeah.
And I think 7 is a super high mana cost.
I'll make it work. You guys know me.
I'll watch it.
But that's my
I'm
my
happy
problem
to see
is
you do it, but I
my problem
won't
is simply
play it.
this: at 7 mana in blue,
Yeah.
what's better? And the answer is
lot.
literally every card I've seen.
Cyclonic Rift. Sorry, did I say that?
Get out of my house.
Even some of the you can just cast your own big 8/8 Krakens for that mana. You know, like
That's
it's just-
true. It's true.
Squids.
Squids, whatever. You know,
This
Crush of
is my Squidward
Tentacles.
deck.
I'd rather just play something stupid like
I'm
Nick
just
in the
saying.
Ice.
I'm just saying. This is 3 turns off of Omniscience, and that's look at the power level difference of that, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I could play this for free without
Then it's worth it.
Just start making commander decks, and Omniscience is the commander, and they're like, "What is this?" That's fine.
Really?
Don't worry about this.
Don't pay attention to that.
Okay, so let's go on to the next one.
Very excited for this card. I think it's super, super cool.
Do you know what?
And I love. Sorry to interrupt, Brian, but I'm
All good.
talking about what I love. I love.
I'm with you.
I love its normal art versus the constellation.
Yep.
As soon as I saw this, I didn't care what it did. I'm getting one.
I love how we are just like, I love the artwork more than the
figure
card
out-
itself. We don't care what it does.
I shared this.
Yeah.
I shared this on our Instagram, and I was like, "This is gonna be another group slug commander that I'm gonna bring and do up." And then the comments that we had were like, "It's really not that good." But I was like,
Well, it is
could be.
really good. Exiling cards from graveyards is awesome. Exiling people's lands
What
so that
card is it?
oh yeah,
Yeah, I guess we should really say this.
We're just so distracted.
Clothis, God of Destiny, the Justice Scales looking guy.
Hope. Just constant podcast babysitter.
Yeah.
So it needs a devotion of 7. It's a
In
4/5.
red and green.
Yeah, in red and green. So there's a 1 red green. Okay. And at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, exile target card from a graveyard. It can be any graveyard, doesn't matter.
Really quickly, you do not have an option. You might have to hit your own graveyard for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Red. Yeah, I'm fine.
You must.
So if it was a land card, add a red or a green mana. Otherwise, you gain 2 life, and
Clothis.
Clothis deals 2 damage to each opponent.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. So, and if there's no cards in all graveyards, none of this triggers. You don't get anything, basically. Like, you still try to target something, but there's nothing to target, so nothing happens.
Well, the ability, especially you sit down against, as I mentioned many times, Moldrotha, you sit down against Mara, you're able to get rid of a lot of good stuff.
There's a lot of graveyard hate in this.
Yeah,
set.
a targeted
Yeah.
exile that triggers every upkeep
If I can
is
be-
rough.
If I can be
No,
real, this
every-
set felt like a personal attack. So,
Every pre-combat.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, not upkeep, pre-combat main phase.
Yeah.
And that is good. And not
Hard to
only,
read.
not only on top of that, you can also get mana from that exile, which is wicked. In a Land Matters deck, that's super, super important. I'm sitting there playing Windgrace, suddenly I can't strip mine like
I'm gonna beast within your land or the whatever
Field of the
yeah
Dead.
Field of the Dead, and then
Field
I'll
of the Dead.
exile it.
and
hilarious.
get land. And get land.
Yep.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna make a land destruction deck with these colors.
Yeah, of course.
And then I'm gonna exile people's lands.
And then
I'm gonna be honest.
never-
It's gonna be fun for me. No one else is gonna have fun. This is gonna run Obliterate. We all just have to get over it.
I know who you can play that against.
I have an idea, yes. I think that this is a wicked card. This is you can make a lot of cool commanders out of this.
My
but-
jaw dropped when I saw it.
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorite cards that I've seen in a long time, and favorite cards from the set.
it's a new god, right?
It
Yeah.
is a new
Yeah.
one.
I think it's the replacement to Xenagos,
Heck, well, obviously.
the old
Yeah,
The
because
colors.
kind of dead.
Dedagos.
Dead it is. So
Not so
we're-
indestructible now.
Because it had enough devotion that you could kill it.
Oh, I see that card coming up.
Oh, the next one. You want to read it out?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
I can't. Well, how do you say it?
Kroxa.
Kroxa?
Croxa, Titan of
Croxa.
Death's Hunger.
I think all the Elder Giants are dope.
Yeah.
I think they're so cool.
So it's a black red. Okay, legendary creature. Elder Giant for 6/6. Crazy. 2 mana for 6/6? Awesome. But there's a catch.
Yep.
When it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless it escaped. Okay? How do you do? What else does it do? Well, whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, each opponent discards a card. Then each opponent who didn't discard a non-land card this way loses 3 life. And the escape cost is black, black, red, red. Exile 5 other cards from your graveyard.
Aren't all the Elder Giants that
Yeah.
4 cost 2 of each of their colors?
Yeah. But the a really, really cool thing about this is you're in colors that hurt. You're in colors that matter when it dies, so entering and escaping doesn't matter. You're in the color of Warstorm, Surge, Pandemonium. Yeah. So essentially, you could, for 2 mana, make everyone discard a card, everyone who can't lose 3 life, and bolt people for 6 with 2 before you bring it back. That is a very, very powerful creature to be sitting at 6/6.
It can get abused real quick, real easy. In Rakdos colors, come on.
It costs 2. I could just play goblins and.
But it is Rakdos.
6/6.
It is Rakdos color, so you have a lot of rummaging. You have
a lot of getting into the graveyard as well.
Yeah, you're looking at opponent's hands, they're discarding cards from using distress or things like that. Yeah, you have Tormenting Voice or Cathartic Reunion to draw and discard, stuff like that, right? So
but even if you were to recur it, not using the escape mechanic, and you had something like Daniel said, with the Warstorm Surge, you could literally just consistently blap people in the face.
Well, and it is also an ETB trigger and stuff, and you are going to get it off. There's a lot of really, really good cards with this. You can Grave Pact it. You can do lots of pretty degenerate things with a 6/6 that enters and sacks it, because you can still respond to its enter trigger. There's nothing stopping me from it entering and then I fling it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
It has, because it has to enter.
Yep.
If not on cast, enter.
The enter triggers, both of them go off, so the enter sacks, and then also that. You can respond by Sundial of the Infinite, so that there is no sacrifice trigger, because these are 2 specifically different triggers. So you stack them how you want, and you respond to them how you want.
You're making me really second guess why I'm here.
Yeah. there's a lot of really, really cool cards.
The more I see within your brain, I'm just
and there's a lot.
But it's interesting to see how you can rock that.
Each of us think
differently.
We all think differently, and that's why we build such weird decks compared to each other.
Yeah, such strangely different decks.
Yeah. So what? Mine are perfect. I don't understand.
Nylia, new one. Love it. Nylia Kenai.
How keen.
4 mana, 5/6 indestructible. You need a devotion of 5 to green. Creature spells are 1 less, which is great in every green deck that exists. For 3, reveal top card of your library. If it's a creature, put it into your hand. Otherwise, you can put it onto the bottom.
I have to say green.
Oh, into graveyard, not bottom.
I have to say green. Green gods that have I feel the devotion should be so much higher, because I just feel green could just
It's so easy.
I will play Gigantosaurus.
Yeah. Literally, I feel like mono
turn
green.
1 Llanowar, turn 2 Llanowar Tribe, turn 3 I have my devotion.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I feel like Nylia mono green at this should be minimum 7. Yeah.
Well, its ability to sit as a mana dump in green is really, really strong. There's no tapping, no anything like that. So if I can gen 20 mana, end step, I'll cycle through.
Do that 3 times.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
do that.
And all creatures cost 1 less to cast 2.
Yep, exactly.
It's foolish.
It is a really, really good card.
That's an instant add in any green tribal deck.
Yeah.
It sits well in my elf decks. It sits really, really good in
that would sit well in
beast
my
decks.
Yeah, it would sit well in my Marin deck. It would sit well in my cat deck.
In Muldrotha.
Because I'm just sitting there thinking of Miri's Guile right off the bat. Look at the top 3, sort that, do my draw, and then I know what my second card's going to be, and I'm just going to be, I'll tap 3, I'll boop.
Well, and even in Muldrotha.
Or Selvala.
Which I talk about too many times. Yeah. This is essentially a reveal the top card. If it's not a creature, throw it into my graveyard, and I'll cast it from my graveyard. It's a draw card or get a creature.
So Nyla and the Ashiok going straight into Daniel's.
So many things.
Oh, yeah.
I'll one day take that Merit to slumber out. You guys wait.
One day.
All right, we're going to talk about the dumbest card I have seen printed
ever.
In ages.
I need to be able to tell this.
I will let Brian tell it, but I am going to find the collector's pack foil of this card.
Yeah.
Because it's gorgeous.
Also, anecdotally, when Daniel heard about this card, he called like his
Yeah, I
entire
literally made
family.
5 phone calls at least about this card. I called Brian when I knew he was sick at.
I was at home, laying in bed,
Sick.
working from home.
Brian
sick.
with the plague.
Yeah.
And I called to tell him about this card because he needed to hear it.
And as soon as he told me, my
One
jaw
of our
dropped.
one of our friends put the wrong gas in his car, overlooking at this card.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Daniel was about
Instead of premium, he just clicked the normal one because he was like reading on his
He's
phone.
like, oh my god. He just like hit a random button. When I heard about this card, it was because Daniel was he was about to leave work, and right now we're working at the same place. So he was about to leave work. He was in his car. He stopped, got out of his car, and came back into the shop, and he's like, you need to see this.
Awesome.
Interrupting work for it.
Yeah, it's worth it.
So the card that we are all excited for is Nyx Bloom Ancient. 4 colorless, 3 green, enchantment creature elemental, trample, and if you tap a permanent for mana, it produces 3 times as much of that mana instead.
And it's a
Permanent.
5/5 and
permanent!
Let me quickly tell everyone. Doubling cube will double 3 times for this.
Yeah, it does stack.
Yep.
Ugh.
Because that is tapping a permanent for mana. So if you
Will that be soul
Oh
ring?
my
if
god.
you have 13, you pay doubling cube's ability and
Cubo duplicata.
tap it
Some
for 10.
monolith, you
It
just
taps
untap.
for 30.
Oh my god.
Yeah. No, like,
Very
Oh my
big
god.
oof.
It's
And I'm
so
just here thinking
beautiful.
of me running my Mirari's Wake
Mirari's Wake,
and
yeah.
like
Zendikar.
mana. Yeah, just oof.
Oh,
Any of that. Well, I run an Omnoth deck, and the whole point
Oh,
is to
man.
just be
yeah, so each of your lands taps for like 7, and
Yeah,
then you
I've
triple
got
it, and then you doubling cube it.
Heartbeat of Spring, Dictate of Kara Metra,
Get out.
Zendikar
Lantoff,
Resurgent. I have
Yeah.
a mana reflection in there. Like, I'm going to tap forests in that deck for 20 mana each.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
All I have to say is, if you get this card, unless you're desperate for like store credit or whatever, don't sell
Just
it.
hold it.
Hold
This
it.
is one of the
If you're not
cards
gonna
I
use it,
think is
hold
going to
it.
go up in price because a lot of Commander players are going to want this.
If you
Did
don't
you
want
not
it,
hear us?
Let's look not even at Commander. There is not a single green deck to ever exist that A, can't generate 7 mana, and B, doesn't want more mana.
I'm just going to say this right now. If you don't want that card,
I'll take it.
my number
Yeah, I'll
is...
take it.
and I will take it off your hands.
Like, we can list so many decks,
I have
so many cards that would abuse this.
So
There's a lot of
Like
cards
every
that are going to
single-
be...
Pretty well every single deck that I
Chase
have
cards.
that runs green in it
we'll run this.
will run this card.
Yeah.
my instant grabs now are Nyx Bloom Ancient, Mirari's Wake, Seedborn Muse.
Oh, yeah, there's...
Kill your Seaborn Muse.
I'm sure everyone
Oh,
has cards that whenever they're in, they'll take them. Divine Visitation. If I see it, I buy it. Mirage Mirror. I think I own probably 40% of the Mirage Mirrors in this city. I don't think
I believe it.
I don't think there's a deck it shouldn't be in.
Yeah, this is instantly being added to my, if I see it, I'm grabbing it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I want this in my my
I want this in
Savola
all
deck
my
as well.
decks.
Same.
Well,
Even
that's,
my blue-black.
that's the other thing.
Got a
with-
mono red deck, I got a
with
Nyx Bloom.
Selvala, the Explorer one.
Ugh.
That is a mana ability. So you're tapping her for 3
Getting
times
12.
whatever's there. Yeah, in a 4-player game, if everyone hits it, you're hitting 12 mana off your Selvala.
Triple the life, please.
So silly.
Isn't that
You don't
nasty?
need
Throw
life.
in,
Nasty
throw in
though.
some boon reflection, and you're living.
Oh, this is a crazy card.
It's incredible.
We could dedicate a whole episode to this, but we got a lot out of
Just
card.
us moaning. Like,
We definitely
PG, people, PG.
We definitely
The
do
word
not have
moaning
the
is
time
still
to get
PG.
into the other ones. We're just going to do the mythics today,
think it should
and
be.
then talk about some of the remaining legendaries because we
Yeah.
are too excited for the set. We'll talk a little bit. One of the guys in the group had a idea about talking about how it's like impacted our play groups and everything. So we'll do a future episode on what this brought to the table.
Yeah.
literally.
like a week or 2 weeks passed into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But let's keep going with these mythics here.
I liked it.
So what's the next one?
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. Okay, it's a Nox. Ox of...
I don't care.
What?
Sorry.
Well, it's a mythic though! And it's an Ox! We don't have enough Oxes.
Exactly.
It should go into the
For
farm.
a good reason.
What, do you want more
Eh.
badgers or
Yes!
jackalopes?
So badly. Give me the badges.
This is actually not
Badger,
too
badger,
bad of a
badger,
card
badger,
for a
badger.
few decks I play.
So Ox of
Yay.
Agonis... I suck at pronouncing today. Agonis?
Yeah.
Ah, sure.
Whatever. So it's a 3 red, okay? Creature Ox, 4/2. Whenever it enters the battlefield, discard your hand, then draw 3 cards.
Solid effect.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Cast it once, last card in my hand.
Or you have no cards in your hand.
Its escape cost is brutal, though.
Yeah, well 2 and exile 8.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exile 8. Ew.
And when it escapes with a +1, it escapes with a +1/+1 counter on, so it'll become a 5/3 instead.
I think also like it's a good card. Could have been rare slot. I think it's pretty weak mythic.
That's why I don't care.
If I pull this in a box, I won't be super happy.
But out of all the cards that we looked at, this is the only second trash one.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
That's fair.
And it's
That's fair.
not like,
Everything else is like dynamite.
Even like
Again,
objectively,
it's not-
I wouldn't say it's trash. It's just not my meta. But also it's trash. But also.
It's just the fact that the escape cost is 8.
Yeah.
That's
it's brutal.
trash.
crazy.
And its escape cost doesn't give you like a big enough like advantage in my opponent.
But, like,
in my opinion. If it gave you like +4, I'd be like,
I'd rather
hell
use those
yeah.
8 cards that I have.
Same.
All right, let's
But
talk zombie hydras, guys. Let's get over the
Oh,
others.
Polucranos.
But like for an Ox, I would have just used a bunch of discard cards anyways, or I'd just punch through my hand.
I
or...
said Polucranos.
I don't care.
Unchained.
Let's don't talk about the Ox. Okay, fine. So yeah, you can. I'm not gonna pronounce any more names.
That's okay. I'll read them all. It's
Unchained.
fun.
Yeah, its escape is very, very strong. But it also, Polucranos enters with 6/1/1s for 4. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I like that.
especially in the counter colors.
Yeah, for 2 black and a green.
Yeah.
Yeah. It escapes with 12 1/1 counters on it, which is enormous. If damage would be dealt to it, well, it has a 1/1 counter on it, prevent the damage to remove that many 1/1s from it. So, really, really cool commander-based one.
Yeah. And
for
for
3 mana, you can make him fight another creature, which is great.
Yeah.
And
That
then
sounds
his escape
lovely.
is 6 and exile 6 cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he comes in with 12 on ones. Like,
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, if you escape.
And like, I can easily up those counters. I can easily double them.
Well, let's be honest though.
You're in
a
green.
6/6 for 4 that you can sit in the command slot is strong.
It's nasty.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it is.
A 6/6 that prevents the damage, especially if you can get a vigor on the field, so that he never it's prevent all damage to him.
Yep.
You just do that, and I'm just gonna throw a berserk on it and just be like, haha, it goes away. Eh.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of cards in the Golgari colors specifically that just are really, really good at putting counters on. There's a lot of things that actually matter for it. And doubling season with this.
I love it. This is
there's-
like very much up my alley. I'm into it. I would love to do like a Polucranos commander, Hydra kind of theming.
I don't know if I would go Hydra into it. I would
Just
probably,
like some Hydra.
I would
some
probably
Hydra.
go into counters. But again, that is Hydra.
But like, there's like, I don't want to go like any more down the list, but there's another card in the set that would go amazing.
Which one?
That the enchantment that
Point it out when we get to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, is it uncommon or rare? Because
It's an uncommon.
Okay, we're just touching methods.
Yeah, we won't have time.
We
to
won't
get
have
to the
time.
other ones. The next one is probably going to be one of the strongest commanders to come out of this, and it's the new Theros. A lot of people weren't super happy on him. Let's be honest with this. This is a 7/6 at 5. Very, very strong. Red's also another color easy to hit the devotion in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The devotion again, like it's only 5.
He is a full haste enabler, but let's do some basic math. He's 5 mana. Most dragons are 6 mana. He's a haste enabler. And for 3 mana, for just 3,
Yeah, 2 in a red.
you can put a red card or artifact from your hand onto the battlefield, sack it at the end of the next end step.
No.
Number 1, Sundial of the Infinite is needed for this deck.
Yeah.
It is awesome. But number 2 is you can Warstorm Surge out dragons for 3 mana with haste. So you suddenly just put out all of your nonsense. Here's Dark Uset. Here's like your Flame Blast dragons, Bogarden Hellkites. We're going to drop everything for 3 just because any of your ETB, it's red creatures. Any big things. And it's a sacrifice. You wanna be a jerk, drop in that it's Bearer of the Heavens or whatever, destroy all permanents when it dies. Let's reset the board for 3 mana. He's indestructible. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
Hilarious. This is, I just like, literally as Daniel started reading it, like I know that nobody can see me, but I was like, like my face just lit right up. I love it.
He is going to be a very, very exciting commander because he's going to just, you for once don't have to worry about actually getting those dragons to it. They're a target.
Sounds like I'm going to be making a kamikaze dragon deck.
Yeah,
Yes!
That's exactly what it should be. Just a straight out one of them. But you can also cheat.
Pure aggro.
You can also cheat huge artifacts out. You can drop an Ugin's Nexus, and if it's destroyed, I believe you get an extra turn on it. Like 3 mana extra turn in red. Like, what kind of nonsense are we playing here?
You never get that unless you're playing red-blue.
Yep. And yeah, so there's a ton, because, let's be honest. There is a lot of really good artifacts, and I talk about one specifically all the time.
Blightsteel Colossus?
Blightsteel Colossus.
Who knew that was coming?
That's the thing, though. Like a lot of people, like when this first got shown, and a lot of people are like, it's okay, or it's not that great. It's like, once again, it's just you gotta think a little bit outside the box. What can you do that's like high casting cost that you can just bring out, just hit for the damage, and then fling or something like that, and then go away because you're in red, right?
I
don't have like death triggers.
I don't even think you have to think outside of the box. You have Mirror March in this color. For 3 mana, you're basically able to just flip coins, and maybe make 5 Blightsteel Colossus.
Colossi.
Maybe, maybe
and they all have haste.
Maybe make 6. I won 16 coin flips in a row. It's not impossible. 16 Inferno Titan triggers. Yeah, let's do that. Also with haste. Woo!
Ooh, girl.
This is probably one of the most exciting commanders to come out of this one.
I'm into it.
Just overall solid. He himself is big, but just a haste enabler that lets you sneak attack cards. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And sneak attack is a good card.
Good and inexpensive card.
This is just an indestructible sneak attack.
I just find it funny because it's
That's
just be like
every turn over and over.
Yeah. It'd be funny though, like you have something like this and then you're like, hey look, Krankle comes down and I already have like 5 goblins. I'll tap it right away because it gains haste and I get a bunch more and then all those creatures have haste and then I attack. Or you get Krankle Mob Boss, just attack it, all those goblins, have Krankle die. Or go to the graveyard, then you have like a God Theros gift or whatever, that brings, you can exile it and make it a 4/4. Comes back, with haste, then you attack with it.
Have it again.
It's going to be a 5/5 because you have to put a 1/1 counter. You get 5 more goblins. And
it's nasty.
Yeah, it's just
Sneak attack sitting at almost $30 still. Yes, it only takes 1 mana to sneak attack it, but at the same time, there's another card in this set. I don't know the specific name of it, but there is a card that Chaos Warps.
Yeah.
It's a Chaos Warp creature. You can dump mana into it. So you can Perforos your big creatures out, swing with them, use the Chaos Warp creature to go try hit another one of these big creatures. It's a super exciting deck.
We're just playing. We're gambling dragons.
I'm probably gonna make 2 or 3 of these decks. They just seem fun. I want to make an artifact based one, but there's so many big artifacts that are just silly to play and put.
Colossus of Sardia.
All right, let's hit it.
Okay, next one. Thassa, Deep Dwelling. 3 in a blue.
Another really good one.
Yeah. The usual God, blah, 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 Indestructible Devotion. It's for 5. At the beginning of your... Oh, it's a 6/5 as well. At the beginning of your end step, exile up to 1 other target creature you control. Then return that card to the battlefield under your control. So you're blinking it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope.
And then for 3 in a blue, tap another target creature. I like that. It's
fine.
Yep.
Well, it's a mana sink.
Utility.
Well, there's some cards as well that just function well on becoming tapped.
Yeah.
Well, becoming tapped and even just having, like you said, like the auto blink at the end of a turn is nice.
Oh yeah, that's always a really good. That's Golos for sure. Every Golos deck's gonna run this.
Oh yeah.
There's so many things, so many enter the battlefield triggers and all that stuff. I like it. Like it. You can do a lot of stuff. Like I'm looking forward to this one because I want to see the shenanigans people come up with. You know, so. Especially,
just gonna get added to all the bounce decks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it's mono blue, though. That's the thing, right?
But this is going in every Brago deck. This is going in Rune of the Hidden Realm.
Yeah.
This is Chulane. It's just food for those decks.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
it's nice that they're hitting, like, a lot of things that help support, like, all these different, like...
Mechanics,
yeah.
Well, and that's... A lot of these are very, very thematic, right? Mm-hmm. These are solid things that are what already exists, but if you can't quite afford to make that deck that does, here's a supplemental idea where you can still make a bounce deck now.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's just bounce on a stick, right? It's just at the end step. So it's a little bit harder to trigger because you have to wait the whole time to your end step, but it's still nice.
Yeah.
Earl, Titan of Nature's Wrath, 1 green-blue.
Another Elder Giant.
Elder Giant, okay. 6/6. Really strong. When it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless it escapes, like usual. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, you gain 3 life and draw a card. Then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield.
That's dope.
And the escape is green, green, blue, blue. Exile 500 cards from your graveyard.
Yeah. Like I said, all the Elder Giants are 2 of each of their colors. So, like, the last one was red and black, and then it was 2 red and black.
It feels like they're really pushing for Simic to be like a lands matter kind of dealy.
Yep.
You know, because like Chulang was like this. You know, like a lot of like especially green. It's just like
well, when you mention it as well, a lot of these do seem to support specifically the themes of the Brawl deck.
Yeah.
I just really don't.
Like I said, to me it's not the most fun mechanic. Like I get real excited when I see legendary creatures because I'm like, can this be a commander deck? And I don't think these Elder Giants can be.
No, because I like their abilities, but I don't want to have to exile 5 cards for those.
Yeah, it's just such a walk around for. They're cool and stuff, but they
are cheap. Like they're cheap.
But like,
it's
once
free
again,
cost.
I think that
Once
if you're
again-
like either ending the turn or abusing their enter the battlefield, either with bouncing them some way or recurring them sans escape.
Yeah.
You could put a stifle on a stick and kill that trigger of sacrificing it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You know?
Like there's definitely easy ways around it. I just
But once
you would have to build around it, and it's like we always say, like, how deep do you go into a mechanic that seems fun?
yeah.
But once again, I like the escape mechanic just because I think it's gonna get newer players or people that aren't used to using the graveyard.
Yeah,
as a
who see it
resource
as just a pile of.
to actually get
so.
them thinking about it, right? So it's gonna, in my opinion, like the mechanic is not bad. It's pretty good overall if you can abuse it, but it's gonna get you're gonna make new players brew better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and the other thing too is new mechanics are fun as long as they're not confusing, because that's the biggest issue with a new
Don't
mechanic.
play my banding. Don't play it.
But that's what I mean, right? Like, banding is a cool mechanic. It just was worded confusing, and people did, and that's why they don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
So anything that's new and gives people a new way to look at the game, like you're talking about, it does just expand what people are going to do. But we're pretty close to the end here. I just want to quickly, before we do, I want to run through some of the honorable mentions in the rares in the legendary creatures. So this spider, you can't not talk about it.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I'm actually excited for it. I know some people are like, yeah, it's okay. So we're talking about
Arasta of the Endless Web.
2 green, okay, enchantment creature spider. For 3 of 5 reach, whenever an opponent casts an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/2 green spider creature token with reach.
How dope.
With 3 artworks as well, which is so nice.
So I know a lot of people are like, it's okay, because you have to wait for your opponents to cast spells, and of like the instants and sorceries, if they're gonna cast like a wrath, you know, or like a board wipe, that's a sorcery. Yeah, you create a spider and then it goes away. But
Heroic intervention, I get to keep my spider.
oh yeah, but
Well, there's
other
a
things
lot
you
of
can do.
there's a lot of decks that are like instant sorcery
Heavy.
specific and stuff, right?
Like, is it?
You play this against my Niv Mizzet,
Is
you're
it?
gonna make a ton of spiders.
Yeah, like the way I
That's
would.
going to block all your Thopters and everything that flies.
Oh yeah, exactly.
The way I would do it,
or
like,
Niv Mizzet.
with this one is I would have things that would pump up my spiders that keep on
And
getting
the
created.
jam?
Yeah, I would. That's what I would do. So or just have equipments and make them like big threats. So whenever you cast something, you're gonna create a 4/5 spider for me with reach, for instance.
Well, this also slots really, really well into decks where you want only creatures and stuff. This is like a Nikia staple.
But let's do mention that this is a legendary enchantment creature.
Yeah, legendary enchantment spider. Love it.
Okay, Brian.
Brian's excited.
Ooh.
The next one of the legendary creatures here, Artist, Oracle of Half-Truths. 3/2 menace. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent looks at the top 3 of your library, separates them into a face-down and a face-up pile. Put the face-up pile into your hand and the other into your graveyard.
So it's like a fact or fiction.
Yep.
Personally, I want this cat.
I
love it.
Done talking about that after you're going on to the next card.
You're done.
One second, I read that wrong. He makes one face up, one face down. You choose one of those and put those into your graveyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Sneaky, sneaky.
Okay.
I want this cat. The bronze-eyed lion.
all
It's
right.
just
Talk about it.
It's just Celestia colors, just 1 green, 1 white, and that's its casting cost. And also, it has an ability that you pay that, and it gains indestructible until the end of turn. That's dope. But also, when it dies, it becomes an aura. The same. You can attach it to whatever creature. You pay 1 green, 1 white, and it gives that creature indestructible. It's dope, and it loses all of their abilities,
Which is really, really good
dope.
for other cards
love
as well. You can you can put that on something of someone else's and wreck a strong ability that they have.
Just like
For 2 mana. Yeah, it's a good card.
I love it. Brian's so
cool.
excited. I'm just like, how dope is this cat?
Because it's good for your
I
own.
haven't seen this one yet.
It's a great cat.
No, you can keep anything important to you indestructible at 2 mana, which is a great ability.
Oh, I have so much mana. I have triple my mana.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh yeah, you can make your new mana tripler in foil.
Indestructible.
But yeah, so it's got like a lot of really, really good utility overall because you can shut down something that's just annoying you.
Yeah.
Somebody has like a Gaddock Teague out or something like a Grand
abilities
Arbiter of
for
a
you.
Gustin, and they're no more. Cut that out.
It's like if someone threw down a Darksteel mutation on your commander, let's say. It's annoying because like it's indestructible. You have to either sacrifice it or figure out some way to get exile it.
And that's all this does too. It just makes it
so it's just
indestructible.
annoying, so annoying. But
Losing the ability of your commander is strong. Somebody's trying to go off with a Chulane and you pay 2 mana and it's just
Prison by the
Well,
moon.
it's
Yeah, my
it's
Chulane
like another
colors.
one of those that insect aura that I put on people.
Yeah, that's what Sherman was
Dark
talking about, Dark
Mutation.
Mutation.
Yeah, like that thing is amazing.
The Helen
yeah.
Keller.
but once again, we remember artwork, but we don't remember names.
Yeah. I like the insect.
All right, the next one. A
Are we-
Merfolk Artificer.
Oh yeah, this one's cool.
Dalico's Crafter of Wonders.
Very cool.
I think that's the first red
2/4
merfolk.
at 1 colorless, 1 blue, 1 red. Tap, add 2 mana. Spend it only to cast artifacts or activate abilities, and equip creatures you control have flying and haste.
Activate abilities of artifacts.
Artifacts, yes, sorry. But it is a strange set of colors for that to be in.
It's like a weaponsmith.
Yeah, the artifacts are like a cool thing. Like, there's lots of those artifacts, but just the equipment. So seeing some Voltron in Is It?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Voltron Brutaclad.
I like this one is interesting.
I think it's very neat. I think that there can be. I'm expecting to see a neat Delicos deck.
All right,
right
let's
away.
talk about the silliest
Let's do
card.
it. Dryad of the Elysian Grove.
Man, this thing is gorgeous.
Chase.
Yeah.
This is the chase card of the set, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
He is
It
a handsome boy.
One of the best cards to see printing in ages.
It's
this
ridiculous.
is a broken card. It is an Exploration, Chromatic Lantern, and Prismatic Omen basically on one. It doesn't tap for mana. They at least didn't do that much. This is a rare slot. 2/4 enchantment creature. So you can fetch it with any of the tutors
1
that
green,
grab. Yeah.
two colorless.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
1
nasty.
green, 2 colorless. So the same cost as that. It's also the same cost as if I played Exploration and Prismatic Omen.
or a chromatic lantern.
This will let me Scape Shift Dread Presence, kill the board. This will let me Scape Shift Valakut, kill the board. This is bonkers. This is a card that just brings it back. This is an instant mana fix for 5
Oh, yeah.
I'm
decks.
excited.
No, you can't tell that he's
Excited is not the word for
I
this
can hear
card.
your heart beating over here.
That's not right.
Oh my god.
PG! PG!
This is probably one of the silliest cards I've seen. And like I said, this is the card that has excited me to crack packs. I don't care what I get, because I'm going to crack at least a pack every time I go, till I crack more of these.
Because I think we had like an hour-long conversation just
This-
on this one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, before we even
This-
start recording.
This,
No, finally, we've had like a 3-hour conversation.
this card is not going to sit in the case. You will not find this.
No.
You will have to crack packs and buy this, or order online. Your store will not be able to keep this in.
Absolutely
in
not.
'Cause I will have them.
at the moment need a minimum of 16 of these. I have a lot of 5-color decks. I'm a monster. I get it. But I need so many of them. The additional land, the all land types. This is for all of my group hug decks. This is for my slivers. This is for my other sliver deck. Dragons.
Just in case people do not know all the cards you listed off.
What this
what
card
does it
does-
do first?
You may play an additional land on each of your turns. That's dope.
That's so strong.
That's dope on its own.
That's so strong.
In addition, lands you control are every basic land type in addition to their other types.
So what I
How
was talking about
tight.
with the Valakut, Something that dominated play for a very, very long time
Scape
was
shift.
people scape shifting with Valakut. Because Valakut it's good on its own, but you could run 4 of them. It's non-legendary, I believe, right?
Yeah, it's not legendary.
Yeah. It's just, if you have 5 other mountains, whenever a mountain enters, you can deal 3 damage to any target.
Yeah.
And with this card, everything is a mountain. So everything enters, triggers. So if you scape shift 10 lands with it, you would grab the 4 Valakuts, and then you would, all of your other 6 lands would trigger each Valakut 4 times. All of the Valakuts are also mountains when they enter, and they would trigger each other.
Yeah.
So the whole point of this card is, with Dread Presence, it's one of the new ones. It's whenever a swamp enters, it gives you the utility of you can draw a card and lose 2 life, or lose a life, or 2 damage to any target, and you gain 2 life.
Mm-hmm.
So this re-enables an old combo from back in the day, and it's super, super fun, and it's just so good. Everything's a swamp, especially with Urborg, especially with all that. Like, there's nothing bad about this card. Everyone's like, oh, well, it's a creature, it can die. Yeah, Zeus is a creature, and it's still a good creature. Oracle of Moldiah is a creature, and it's still a good creature.
Yeah.
This is an enchantment. Boo-hoo, so is Exploration.
Literally,
So-
just give it hexproof.
You don't even need to give it hexproof.
Who cares?
If you have, it's just as good as any of those other creatures. Oh, well, it dies, so everything else dies
Everything
too.
dies.
Yeah.
Welcome to being
You're going
alive.
to die.
Shift it a little.
My Merit Lage token dies. That doesn't make it bad.
Yeah.
That would mean that every card would be bad.
Yeah, because everything can be destroyed in some manner. Like, get over it.
Another honorable mention in the rare slot. Again, that's
Emblems.
the rare slot. That is the rare slot.
Okay,
Yeah.
they're not cards.
But again, another mention
emblems.
is a card I think Wizards specifically printed for Brian. Eat Along of Obstruction. A 2-mana enchantment creature spirit with first strike 2/1 that makes loyalty abilities planeswalkers your opponents control cost 1 more.
I really like this card.
You wanna play
I really
those?
like it.
It's just a silly creature. Like it's
Like this is great against Super Friends.
I was gonna say
obviously.
this is like the way to make your Super Friends players not like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
to make them stop being your super
Yeah.
friend.
So what we're saying here is
Make your super
a
friends
certain-
into
a
your
certain-
super enemies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We have a certain individual in our play group that plays Super Friends all the time.
We have tons.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I've only played against one of them.
The, the
We have a
other,
lot.
the other day there was I think 4 players who played Atraxa.
Okay.
Yeah, but only one of them played Super Friends.
No, 2 different ones were super friends.
Who played Super Friends also?
I will name no names. I'll
Name
to you,
names.
I'll talk to you about it after. All of the
Call
interventions.
them out.
All of the interventions are worth mentioning, but we just don't have the time.
Yeah.
I want to talk to this other super silly card that keeps getting screenshotted and
Woo!
printed. It's the Gallia of the Endless Dance.
I feel like you
legendary
didn't need to
satyr.
describe it when I did the woo. Everybody knows.
For red and the green, okay, legendary creature Satyr, haste, other satyrs you control get +1/+1 and have haste. And whenever you attack with 3 or more creatures, you may discard a card at random. If you do, draw 2 cards and it's a 2/2.
So fun.
Awesome card.
Super fun.
Interesting. It's really an interesting card. I'm interested to see what people will brew with this.
Yeah.
Like there's a
Satyr
there's
tribal.
there's like 30 satyrs out there, but you also have like changelings and everything,
Yep.
so it's not a big deal. But I do want to see what people come up with for this. I think this will be a little bit more difficult. You have to obviously be an aggro deck because you have to attack with at least 3 or more creatures in order to get the benefit for the second ability. But
That's
other than that,
easy.
it's a lord and it gives everything haste, and that's what I'm more interested in. It's abusing the haste.
But let's get through these other ones. This is also another new Muldrotha staple. 5 mana, 4/4, Gravebreaker Lamia, a legendary enchantment snake Lamia.
It's not legendary.
Oh no, it's
No,
not
it's
legendary.
just enchantment creature,
I just
yeah.
can't read.
Yeah, I know.
Not
This
legendary.
card
Well, I'm
is
still going to read it
amazing.
anyways because it's good. Lifelink, when it enters, search your library for a card, put it into your graveyard, then shuffle. Busted.
Love it.
Spells you cast from your graveyard cost 1 less.
Oh,
Busted. This is going in my Kess deck for sure.
yeah.
For
Oh, yeah.
sure. And in like probably every Muldrotha deck to exist.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's real good.
Very
It's
cool.
not going in mine just because
You'll
I'm
put it-
silly that way.
You'll put it in, trust me.
I
It's
have
so
to
good.
say the next card that's on that list is my most dreaded card from this set.
This one, Hackros the Unscarred.
Really?
No, not that one. The next one.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah. It's an intervention.
I like Hackros. I think Hackros seems really cool.
I don't think I've seen this guy yet.
It's Hacktos. We both apparently can't read.
From where I'm
Landscape.
sitting and I need glasses, it looks like Hackros, so get over it.
It could be Hackros.
In
We don't
red,
know.
red, white, legendary creature, human warrior,
Which,
6/1.
by the way, travesty. This should have been a soldier.
Yeah.
Travesty.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
would have been a good soldier commander. The best, I would say.
And
There's
also
probably
just
reasons why though.
like
but,
if you just look at
Yeah,
him, he
because
looks like a
they're-
soldier. He looks like
Oh, he does look like a warrior too.
but like, there's,
nah.
but there's a lot of soldier
Potato
synergy, right?
wrong creature type.
Yeah.
There's a lot of soldier synergy, so like maybe they did it for a
Potato
reason.
pud, that
Who knows?
was a mistake.
Okay.
6/1
Potato
at 4
pud,
mana.
whoever made that decision got fired.
6/1 at 4 mana. Silly. 6/1 at 4 mana is very, very strong.
Yeah, nasty.
When he enters, you choose 2, 3, or 4 at random. The number. He has pro of the CMC of everything else except the chosen color.
Yeah.
How cool is
Do you mean
that?
the chosen number?
Oh
Like-
yeah, number, yes.
Yeah.
So,
it's
yeah,
like,
so whatever I
if you
would
roll-
I would just roll a dice on
Yeah,
it.
so if you hit like 2, then he has pro everything except things that
1,
are 2
3,
cost.
4, blah 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 blah.
That is.
Isn't that nasty?
I just choose one and be like, okay.
Yeah. No, but like it's like it's random, right?
Oh,
It doesn't
yeah,
matter.
that's
You don't
true.
know, right?
But 2, 3, or 4, but like that's it.
That's
You can
well,
only
let's-
only deal with him with things at those mana costs.
Let's
How
also
tight.
talk about how this is the color of really strong enchantments.
Yeah.
Commander damage starting at 6 for 4 mana.
Yeah.
And he's essentially unblockable unless they happen to have the one CMC that can get around it.
Yeah.
See, with it, like I like this one because like I would play with a lot of expel cards because you know if it's like 2, like it's not so like it's a little weaker, you know, like for like you know if you're quick for like 1 damage, whoop de do, right? So if he has protection from if he doesn't have protection from it or whatever, but 3 and 4 like. If I throw in something like Pyrohemia,
Yep.
okay, and he has protection from CMC like 4, okay, I'm just gonna wipe the board constantly with Pyrohemia. I'm gonna give Haktos like lifelink somehow, you know, through equipment or like.
Well,
spare
he's a really, really
that-
easy general. Like he kind of reminds me of my Isha deck because you can't really block Isha, and by you can't really, I mean you can't block Isha.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, and he's kind of another thing. A 6/1 that is potentially, for the most part, unblockable. You're gonna be able to commander damage kill people with this.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah.
You're gonna be
Easy.
able to, especially like you're gonna lose a little bit of ability to have every enchantment, every equipment and stuff because of his specific 2, 3, or 4. But that being said, any of those things, like if you hit a 4, you can easily put Armored Ascension and what's the Brimaz? It's
What about Brimez?
he's on the artwork. It's 2 white mana. If it's enchanted, it gets a bunch of other things. I can't even think.
I can't remember right now.
I'll think of the card. Daybreak Coronet.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that one, yes.
Putting both those on him, like that is a kill. You can kill people with this card.
But when
It's
they
still-
did break coordinate, you have to enchant it first. and
That's what I mean with
Yeah.
Armored Ascension because of
Oh,
how many
yeah.
planes you control
Yeah,
and flying.
true. Okay.
Brian's Terror.
Brian.
Yep.
Yeah, you can talk about this, Brian.
This thing. So, Helioid's Intervention.
Helioid.
X and a white. And it's choose one.
For an instant.
Destroy X target artifacts or not enchantments. or enchantments.
Or you can
And-
gain twice X life.
Yep.
So good.
Those are so good.
That's
If
going
you
in
just
every
want to gain
game.
life, I'm totally fine with that.
Having that kind of aggressive enchantment destruction though is
Multiple
for
targeting
me
of
hilarious.
Yeah.
For you, horrible.
The ability, though, also
horrifying.
instant speed. This would still be a rare worthy card at
enchantment
sorcery
cost.
speed.
Yeah, because like even for like red with by force, you know, for X and a red, you destroy X artifacts. Like that's an underplayed card, and I think that's a really really great card.
No.
You know, it's
Hits
intervention.
only
It's-
artifacts.
Yeah, this one's even crazier because it hits artifact and or enchantments.
enchantments.
And
At instant speed. At instant speed is what makes this card go from good to great. Like,
Yeah.
this is just... I love all of the cards that have the modes because they're basically the same as slotting in 2 cards in your deck. You
I like
have
playing
utility.
choose your own adventure. Choose one.
Like, I'll be honest. there needed to be more removal.
White didn't have a
Yes.
lot of artifact destroy.
White had a lot.
Artifact, no. Enchantment, yes.
No, like it depends.
But
'cause, like,
enchantment destruction in general is like underrun.
But a lot of players don't.
This
Yeah,
is-
a lot of players don't use it.
But
And
this makes
Like
it
your
more...
game last night when nobody had anything to get rid of your entire state of enchantments.
and that right there.
would be a real
Well, and
real
this
bummer.
is something that is gonna be run in a lot of decks because it has like variable utility.
yeah.
We do have to say that this whole set is enchantment heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
of course
Well,
there
that's
needs to be
understandable.
destruction.
They reprinted Idyllic Tutor, which is also
Fantastic.
good.
Yep,
Yeah.
amazing.
Search for enchantment, put it into your hand, which is really good at 3 mana.
Love that
Then
dog.
there's a dog.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll quickly go through them. It's Kuomos, Hound of a Theros, 1 white, black, Vigilance, Menace, Lifelink, 3/3. Creature
Menace.
cards can't enter. Creature cards in graveyards can't enter the battlefield. Players can't cast spells from graveyards.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. I
That
like
card
this
would
one a
break
lot.
my heart.
Yeah.
Break my heart in Twine. Nyx Lotus, definitely an honorable mention. It enters tapped. Tap it, choose a color, add an amount of mana equal to your devotion to that color.
That's
Yeah,
so
Awesome
cool.
card.
Really sweet. The Shadow Spear is something I'm looking forward to.
Heck yeah.
For 1 mana, legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has trample and lifelink. And
Already good.
Yeah,
that's already good.
Already a great card.
But you can tap 1 mana and make it so that permanents or opponents control lose hexproof and indestructible until end of turn.
And that
This
does
is-
not have to be equipped for that.
That is just a
good
mana
card.
cost.
Yeah, that's just a mana cost, and it has to equip too. So you don't have to equip it. You can just have it out there and just pay 1 and just they lose hexproof and indestructibility.
Yeah, with
which is
all these
awesome.
gods and stuff too. Like again, this is such a good.
Well,
And-
that shuts down my board wipe or my indestructible board wipe, and then you just be like,
Yeah,
all your creatures don't have
and
indestructible.
let's face it, okay.
And
Like,
go ahead.
well, in Commander, like we face like I don't know about everyone else's mana, but our mana we do have a lot of people that do play indestructible, okay, and hexproof. So
Indestructible's real good. Drop that Avacyn down.
yeah, so something like this is really really strong for us, and I'm sure it'll be strong for other play groups as well. But this is a really really good card.
We're gonna, over the next week, we're gonna brew probably 2 decks with the uncommon commanders, because I think that this is a really, really good set, as I said, for players to get into Commander. So I'm gonna be making a budget version of one of the Commander decks that probably is gonna be just an overall, I would say, fun deck, but also really accessible deck to get into. It's gonna have very, very low dollar-wise cost cards.
Yeah,
and
more
I think
budget.
I think it's gonna work out really well. We're going to talk about those. We don't have time to get through everything, very, very sadly. We're going to end this episode off with one last legendary creature in white, and I'm going to let Hope read it.
I don't know what it is.
Well, Hope's too far away. It's Tyrannica, a Crowan veteran.
Oh,
It's 1 white, vigilance,
I love
human
it.
soldier, 3/3.
whenever it attacks, untap another target creature you control until the end of turn. That creature's base power and toughness 4/4 and gains indestructible and makes my heart hurt.
What's the flavor text?
I like to think
Kithian.
keeps watch over all of us.
Because it is the tribute to Gideon. And that is a great, great
heart.
lore-wise card.
Yeah. So
So many feelings.
But it is also a
I
card.
love Gideon.
It's a really, really solid card for if you have a meta that, I don't know, likes to lightning bolt Birds of Paradise. making things 4/4 indestructible is an overall great, great ability.
that's hilarious.
Just being able to have something that can keep, let's say, Golos alive, because he is like a super target, or any of your super target creatures, like that new silly Dryad that lets me do that, like the tap all of my permanents, create 3 times as much mana. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Let's just keep going for 1 second. We have one more legendary creature at rare. Last one. This is the last one, okay? Because the rest of them are uncommon.
It's gotta get the last word.
We gotta have the last one. We can't just leave this guy out, okay? So anyone want to read it? Because I don't.
Oh, are we talking about the blue one there?
Yeah.
Thrix, the Sunstorm. 3 colorless and 2 blue. Legendary in creature, and it's an elemental giant, flying, flash, and spells you cast with converted mana cost 5 or greater cost 1 less to cast, and cannot be countered.
And it's a 4/5, and I love this one. I love it.
This is fantastic. Like,
Yeah.
look at that little guy with the bow. He's not doing anything.
I think this is great. Like, yeah, casting cost of 5 or greater is like, that's going to be difficult. But like, once again, like Joda. So Tyrone's going to love this.
Let's not show Tyrone this
I
one.
was gonna say, don't tell him.
He has to know.
He has to know. But like, you know, like if you man around really hard or whatever, you're playing Joda or something like that. This is a great card to throw in. If you're playing like planning to throw in like Eldrazi's. Yeah, I said it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's a solid card. It's
Heck
really,
yeah.
really
Hell
good
yeah.
for
Can't be
the Dragon.
Yes. So, but there's so many things you do.
Heck
like,
yeah.
anything that's really like
No.
like a high casting cost creature or spells or
I play
anything where
Eldrazi
it can't-
and Dragons. I'm
where
a degenerate.
it can't be countered is fantastic in my opinion. Okay, because like in EDH, it's already hard to know what to counter and what not to counter, and this just makes it even more difficult for your opponents to determine what they can do. Because like anyone that has a counterspell in their hands now is just like, well, I can't really use it against you. I have to use it against someone else, you know, or else it's going to be a dead card if they're going to be allies for them.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I love it so much. So, but anyways, we've taken up a lot of time here.
Love it.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
All right. So, hit us up on Instagram. You know, drop us a line.
Discord, Facebook.
All that stuff.
Twitter.
Twitter.
Yeah. You guys can get the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, anywhere you like to listen to podcasts. Feel free to download, subscribe, and let us know what you're the most excited for in this set. Is there something we didn't cover in the uncommon and common slot that you're really excited for?
Do you just want
hope
to gush
pull?
over that elemental? Because that's also allowed.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's the
Let
show.
me know if you want to sell any of those dryads.
Yep. Yeah. And again, my number is.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
Bye.
Catch you later.
See ya.